All right. Welcome back to another episode of Light Skin, number 41. Finally got over that hump. Now we're chasing 50, which is crazy. And like always, we ask that you like, subscribe, and share this. And today, if you want to introduce yourself.
Yeah, thank you for having me. My name is Amber Gurske.
Awesome. Well, thank you for being on with us. We appreciate it. And like always, we start out with tell us about baby Amber. Where are you from? Life growing up, things like that.
Yeah, I was born in Duluth. I guess now it's Essentia, but formerly St. Mary's. I grew up in Brule, Wisconsin.
Okay. Oh yeah.
So
fly fishing.
yeah,
I fish that a lot.
I don't, but my dad does, and there's some family members, but not into fly fishing, but canoeing, kayaking for sure.
I do that there too.
For sure, it is beautiful out there. It was a great place to grow up. Playing outside, running around, and all those sorts of shenanigans. But I went to Northwestern High School, so the high school out there. Was in track, cross country, all that fun stuff. Love sports, and being outside and.
So you graduated from there.
Yeah.
Well, let's back up a little bit.
Sure.
Is your family originally from Brule?
So they're from Ashland.
Got it. Okay.
Both sides of my family were originally from Ashland.
Got it.
Even further, but kind of the Twin Ports region, if you will. So
So how many siblings do you have?
Yeah, I have one sister. Her name is Beth, and she lives in Washington now.
Oh, cool.
She's a couple years younger than me, and she is a registered nurse. So.
Okay, very cool. So after high school, did you ever think about sticking around? Did you stick around or?
Yeah, I applied to a bunch of schools, local adjacent, right? Eau Claire, U of M, Madison, UMD, stuff like that. And as I mentioned, I was in cross country and track, really passionate runner. It was super fun. So I was interested in continuing to pursue that in college. So I ended up going to UMD here, and I ran cross country and track with them. Just for the first year. Then I realized, the joys of being an adult and having to pay bills. I'm like, okay, if I'm spending my extra time, running and doing that, I'm not able to generate income while going to school. So
for sure.
I had to drop that. But yeah.
What was your two questions?
Sure.
What was your favorite event in track, and what was your best event?
Okay. So maybe I'll flop those. My best event was distance, because again, cross country runner. So the 2 mile was, which running around a track like that, it's a lot of laps. So
3,200.
And for indoor even worse, because they're small. You're trying to count. I had a hair tie that I would change arms every time to be like, okay, am I odd or even?
That's
Otherwise, have friends, count. But that was my most successful. What I would go to state in and stuff like that. But in college, I tried something new, steeplechase.
Steeplechase. I knew you was so. My brother's wife, Cassandra, in high school, she was very, very good. Distance 3,200, 1,600 and up.
Yeah,
that's with 10,000s. I was like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
and But in college, she ran steeplechase.
Yeah.
And she loved it for some reason. I was like, this seems... Number one, you jumping over... Is that called a steeple?
I think, I'm not an expert on it, and I only did it for 1 year, but I think it is the steeple.
Yeah, I'm going to call that the steeple.
Yeah.
And then you land in water.
Yeah.
So every time, your feet just get heavy. It's crazy. It's a wild race.
Not to mention, I'm going to blame any knee issues that I have now, specifically on this event, because the impact of, you're either hurtling over it or you kind of, as you get more tired, you step on it, so you're even higher, and then you jump down. So landing and oh my gosh, and there was, I can't remember which one it was, maybe Moorhead or one of the colleges that we competed at would put little fish, minnows in there too, just for fun, so I was like, oh, that one, kind of combining fishing, growing up in Brule, I could scoop them out, but
I'd be sad if I stepped on the fish and felt the crunch. But what is going on? We'll talk to you on Moorhead at a different time.
I guarantee you do not do that anymore.
Oh, no. It's
not.
inhumane.
I'm
know some fish died. I'm going to tell you right now, fish died in that process.
I'm sure.
Okay. So, what did you what did you study at UMD?
Yeah, I did business, marketing, and then political science.
Got it.
That one, you know, was just, I wanted to go to law school at some point after that. I still might someday.
Yeah.
But, you know, you graduate and then you're like, gosh, you look at your bill, your student loan debt, and you're like, wow, okay, I need to get out and maybe pay this off before I make any other educational choices.
For sure. So when you graduated college, did you want to explore a little bit, kind of get out of the Twin Ports area, maybe even out of the state? Or
I mean, yes and no, right? I had always wanted to travel, and you know, at that time, growing up, I really only stayed in the Michigan, Minnesota, Wisconsin area, right? I did a couple of school trips for clubs that I was in to Florida and to Georgia and California, but other than that, pretty local. So I wanted to, but again, it was the cost of, you know, when I was in school, I'm like, should I study abroad? But the cost of that kind of held me back, so I didn't. And through school, I worked at the Olive Garden. So when I graduated, I was not super serious yet at finding something because I was making pretty good money as a server there.
For sure.
So I stayed and continued to work, and then I was like, okay, I need to find something. So I just applied locally.
Got it.
At the time.
It's just such a trend, and I ask that question a lot because so many of the guests we've had on, they always ask, like, did you think about leaving? And a lot of times it's like, no. Why? And my thought is like, when I finished high school, I couldn't wait to go. Like, I was so ready. And maybe, I mean, New Jersey, where I was from, you know, projects versus here, that's actually beautiful. You know, it is a big difference. But even if people do leave, everybody comes back. It's rare that people stay away from this area.
And for me, it was the opposite. When I grew up on this road, and I'm like, I'm going to live here forever. And I did. Like, I had no ambitions to leave.
But you had good memories here, too.
Yes,
like,
true.
Well, let me ask you this real quick. So, who lived here? Did you have family? Did your grandpa live here?
No, my grandma and grandpa lived across the street.
Okay.
And then Ernie and Esther Shodine lived here when I was a kid. And then my parents bought it around 2000 and converted it to do adult foster care.
Okay.
And so, then that's how this property came into our family.
Got it. All right. So, that makes sense then. But I guess, where I was from, we didn't have good memories there. So it was like, I need to make new memories.
Sure.
That was the thoughts for most of it. So, all right. So now that you're graduated, what was the first, let's say, big girl job you got?
The first big girl job I got was working in product development at Amsoil in Superior.
Yep.
So they were hiring marketing students to kind of partner and work with an engineer. So launching products. And
How was that?
Good. It was a really good learning experience. I learned so much about oil. It was never a passion of mine, before that. But you kind of, if you have that attitude of like, I can learn anything, and I can figure this out and just learn from the people around you, and it was a great experience.
How did you like working for Al?
So I didn't, work directly for him, but at the time he was still in the office. So he was great. He was definitely a presence. You would kind of know when he was there. He would sometimes bring one of his dogs, and just a really great person. And
because I've heard that a lot. People that work there really liked him. And he was still partially involved when I started, but he passed away in 2017. So it's.
So how long were you at Amsoil?
I'm still there, but in different roles.
Okay.
Different department.
All right. Well, shoot.
I've spent my whole career there. So
cool. Okay. All right. So tell me about going through the ranks there. So far, how long have you been at Amsoil?
It'll be, this year's my 12th year.
Oh, awesome.
So,
Okay. So, after, you said product development?
Yeah.
All right. What did you move and step into after that?
So, I moved in, and my degree was in marketing, and product development was marketing adjacent, marketing related, but I wanted to kind of go further into, using what my degree was for. Yep. When I started there, I saw that there was an international department. Okay. So, I set a goal to be like, if there was something that opened up there, that's something I would definitely be interested in. Like I said, at the time I had only been to a handful of states. And,
so you get to travel abroad.
Okay. So I, had the goal of working there at some point, and it was a very small team, so people kind of stood where they were. But then there was an opening when someone left for maternity leave and then decided to stay at home with her children. So I applied, and now I do business development and marketing in the international division. So,
all right, tell me about. So, all right, what's one of the coolest places you've been to?
Sure.
Outside of.
My favorite place that I've ever been, which is hard to narrow down, but I would have to say Argentina. Okay. Because it's so European, but also, still had that like Latin influence as well. It's just very unique. And a very similar time zone. So even though it's like a 10-hour flight, it's like you're not dead after it. But
and I guess they got good food there too.
They do.
Yeah, so
they do.
I haven't been to Argentina, but I would love to.
No, they do.
Yeah.
And also though, I really do like Asia. I was in China in 2019, so right before COVID. Yep. And being there, like I remember landing there and knowing that like I don't know a single person in this continent. I had some customers that I hadn't met in person yet, so I was like, okay, but there was something so like cool and like I don't know, empowering and like wow, okay, like I got to figure this out. Yep. And
where in China?
In Shanghai.
Okay,
and
Shanghai.
Then,
I'm there.
And then I had a free weekend day. I was there for a trade show and then met with customers, and then a free weekend day that I took the train out into like a smaller community and just walked around and tried street food and kind of had my like Anthony Bourdain moment, which is what I was telling myself. I was like, I'm unfortunately not allergic to anything food wise, so I'm like can just try everything. So it was.
So I got a question. How big is Amsoil? So they originated. I mean, they sort of were the pioneers in some sense of synthetic oil.
Yep.
And then. Like, because, when companies are more local, you wonder, man, is this just really big here?
Yeah.
Like, how does it stack up to, say, I don't know, mobile?
Shell.
Well, Shell,
Exxon.
Yeah.
But, like, to, other oil companies, like, how big is it?
So it's bigger than you think. I mean, all of the products are still manufactured right here in Superior. So just a few miles from here, and we do export to almost 90 countries. So, I mean, you tell people that like from the Twin Ports, and they're like, oh my gosh, wow, like that's crazy.
Yeah.
But as far as like size, definitely not like a mobile one. Like that's big oil. This is more like more high performance, high quality, a little bit higher price in many cases. So just competing in different things, I guess. So
that's cool though. 90 countries.
Yeah, and still growing.
I'm gonna ask a real dumb, ignorant ass question. So
Please.
Synthetic, fake. How do they make? Not that you even know this, but maybe you do. How do they make this oil?
So it's combining base oils with additives. So we purchase the best quality base oils, and then also, gosh, I feel like I'm doing a commercial.
No, this is great.
we purchase the best quality base oils and then additives, and then we have
sugar, salt, whatever,
something like that. Essentially. And then we have a full chemistry lab and then a dyno lab too, a mechanical lab where we can test products, and they just blend stuff up. But depending on the niche and how thick you need it for the specification of your specific vehicle or motorcycle, and then on down to some, want some stuff more slippery or less slippery for performance-based stuff. And
so is it, I'm about to make people mad, is it more like, I don't want to use the word humane, but is it, everybody want to talk about green now. Yeah, is it more green than...
So the idea of synthetics, yes, for sure, because you can use it for longer, right? That's kind of like the whole shtick behind synthetic oil. Really, is you don't have to change it out as often.
Got it.
So at the time, it was founded in 1972. So when Al, pioneered these lubricants, at the time, 3,000 to 5,000 miles change was standard, right? So with his products, it was 15,000 to 25,000. So so when you think of it that way, every time you're changing oil and then it, recycled or whatever, hopefully, but you're consuming more, so that's not good. So the longer that you are able to use it, the better.
Okay, now I'm gonna ask a dumb question.
Go ahead.
So yes, 3,000.
You about to ask? I think what I was going to ask.
Okay, all right. So back in the day, 3,000.
Yeah,
everybody changed that 3,000. Now they're like, oh, you can go $8,000 or maybe $10,000.
10 for a lot of new cars.
That's what they say. But then when you get your oil changed, they're like, "Oh, you can't go that long."
Yes, it's 5,000 still on my sticker. That's what I was going to ask the same thing.
Yeah, like, can you really say,
and I'm full
forget this, I'm going 15,000 if you used an Amsoil product? Could you do that?
Sure. Well, if you have questions like this, everyone, call into the tech department and they can talk things through.
Synthetic oil.
Yeah, I'm not not authorized. Not authorized to make these
also,
claims.
can you look at my engine? It's making me weird.
Not today. It's so cold. It's like negative 20 here today. But the short answer, the garages, it behooves them to have customers come in more often to check things out, and that's not a bad thing or a scam. Once you're in there, they can check other stuff out, like maybe your brake pads, maybe your filters,
cabin air filter.
Oh, dude, I hate when they come out with everything sitting on top. So this is crazy, and I will say who it was because I do love the place, but I went and got my oil changed the other day, and I remember like a month before that. Yeah, like a month and a half ago, I got my filter changed. They come out with my filter with this pile of shit on top. They said, "Oh yeah, it looked like you haven't changed your filter," and I said, "Yes, I did. I just changed it. I still have the receipt in my glove box."
Interesting.
I was so mad that they tried to get me.
Well, when it's cold though, I mean, there is a chance
It
mice
wasn't that
got
cool
in
yet,
there.
though.
But mice get in
That's
there.
a Bugatti. Mice not getting in that. It's not. Have you seen my car? It's beautiful. Mice know better. It's a Jeep, obviously.
Maybe that's why they like it, though. They're like, wow, this is a sick ride.
Well, we've never been in this before. Maybe. Who knows? I cut them a break, but I was still mad. I was like, okay, you tried to get me just now.
Yeah. Many of the customers, specifically in the U.S. and Canada, like where it was founded, change oil themselves. And that's like they're very passionate about their vehicles and they're doing it themselves. So I guess in a sense, that's kind of who the product was made for initially. But now that it's, gotten more popular and really known for quality, people will buy it and then bring it into a garage and say like, hey, I want to use this. And, I do that. I'll bring it into a garage and they'll still write your sticker, 5,000 or whatever miles. But I just either ask them to write a different one.
Oh, you can bring your own oil.
Reminder. Yeah.
Yeah, I do. So I do know that. There's a lady that's been there a couple times. I got my oil changed. She only comes with her own oil.
Yeah.
That's it. She said that you can't put nothing else in my car. And I forget what she got. Something nice. I don't remember. Yeah. It's nice though. But yeah, she has.
That is common for our customers. Yeah.
I should do that one day. Just because I feel like I'm cool. Bring it like a briefcase or something.
Yeah. You should.
Yeah. We're learning a lot. I love informational podcasts, don't you? All right. One more question before we move on.
Yeah.
Is Amsoil leading in the synthetic market or?
Well, we were, the first in synthetics was our tagline for a long time. So, again, known for that quality and stuff. And it's also everything's made in the U.S., which makes it very popular in other countries where, the U.S. quality is known for just that quality. Sure. So, in that regard, yes. But we're not looking to take out, Mobile One or anything like that.
Leave them alone.
Yeah,
That's how you get assassinated.
And some people really are passionate about Mobile One or other brands, and that's fine.
For sure.
Not for everyone, but someone that wants a higher quality and performance, and that's great. Check it out.
Well, I feel it's so hard to manufacture something in the U.S., and so if you do, especially a company like yours, it's going to be a good product.
Well, and it's especially unique for where we're located. Here in the middle of nowhere. When you think about U.S., like you think about manufacturing for export and like. Texas or, the East Coast, West Coast. So all of the products that we sell, has to get brought to one of the borders, I guess, and then put on a boat and sent elsewhere. Sure. So, yeah.
How often do you travel for work?
For me, it's, between 3 to 5 times a year.
Okay, maybe. So not too crazy.
Yeah. No.
Okay, that's nice.
Yeah.
All right, awesome.
And then, we have a really great team who many of them speak other languages. I don't, unfortunately, but they're more on the sales side, so they're traveling more.
Got it.
I'll usually go with them to places.
Okay. So now that we know you're in this, when did you first get involved with politics?
Well, like I said, that's what I went to school for, sort of. One of the things I was interested in, but it was honestly from a really young age with my dad.
Okay.
After my parents got divorced, I moved in with him in Maple. He lived right across the street from the high school, actually, and I could walk there. Which, when you're a country kid, not everyone can walk to school. Most people can't. So. And we were really close, and he was a union organizer for the Minnesota Pipe Trades.
Got it.
So, super involved in that, and protesting for workers, and going down the Capitol in Wisconsin and in Minnesota, and doing a lot of stuff like that. It was, when I was young, just something fun to do with your dad. Like we really enjoyed it together, and then. As I got older, I grew more passionate about that also, stuff doing with him, and I was involved with, the Douglas County Democrats and stuff like that, like, door knocking when I was in high school, and then that kind of further inspired me to learn more about it through in college.
For sure.
Yeah.
Okay. So, in the dicey part, which whatever. So how did you get involved with being the campaign manager for Roger?
Yeah, so Roger and I have known each other for almost 10 years. We've met in the running community.
Okay, yeah.
Everything for running, I feel like.
I do see him be running.
Without running, I would have nothing.
For sure.
I'm big in that community as well.
Yeah, we haven't met yet. I don't know. Maybe you finished so far ahead of me.
That's probably
we didn't
what
get
it
to
is.
interact.
Yeah.
So
You'll get there.
Yeah.
Running his mouth. It's a different. We different. Things.
Adjacent.
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah. So yeah, we had known each other from the running community, and we were friends, and we did a long run. Gosh, I can't remember when it was. It was 13 miles. We started at Spirit Mountain and ended at Bayfront. Right, so you drop a car there, you drive up here.
That should be.
If you want to do
one of my friends ever called me and said, "Pez, let's go for a run," and I'll say how long, and they say 13 miles. I'm hanging the phone up.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm hanging it up.
You'll be on the list next year. We do this run every year now. It's kind of tradition.
Can I get a team of like maybe 5 of us and we split it?
5? I'm thinking like 30 people.
30 is a lot, Joe. We can do a little better than that. 6.
5. Okay. Well, like a relay. You tag off.
Yeah,
and then,
every mile and a half. Yo, let's get it. Stuff like that. We'll talk.
Could work.
Yeah.
Could work, yeah.
So right now, asterisk, I'm training for a 5K.
Okay.
Which is...
Have you ever done one?
Yes, but it's been a while.
Okay.
Read the fine print on that asterisk.
Yes. I haven't done a 5K in probably 2020. It was...
Oh, so not that long.
Yeah.
Okay. But it's not like you were like, a middle schooler and like you've done one
40 pounds ago.
fairly recently. Okay.
Yes.
So some training is involved.
Yeah.
Perhaps.
So I've been doing some running a little bit with one of my staff, Kentrail. And so I got one in April that I'm doing for cerebral palsy.
Okay.
Which is about to be February. I gotta keep rolling.
You gotta get a calendar together.
And then I'm gonna do the grandma's 5K.
Okay.
Yeah, so
the Irvin
5K,
yeah.
And I do the whippersnapper races every year too, just involved in them. I work the finish line. So this usually the 5K is after whippersnappers. This year is before. So I gotta be ready to do this 5K, and then within the next half hour, be ready to do.
And the kids aren't gonna cut you any slack.
No,
I'm sure
and my energy level is so high. If you know me, like if I'm not where I usually am, they gonna look at me and say, "What the hell is going on with that?"
Okay.
So yeah, so I really gotta be ready. We might do a run one of these days. Just let me go at my pace. I ain't not gonna chase you.
It's funny because so many of my friends are like, "Oh, I would never run with you because like you're so fast." I'm like, "Well, I don't like to be running fast all the time. Like you need some of those like recovery days when like you're just chatting like and if my friend
I can't talk while I'm running either.
Yeah.
Oh God.
We will not talk.
Don't ask me no questions.
Get away from me.
Okay. Well, maybe ahead of time, then you just let me know, like, what kind of interaction you want this to be. Like, do we talk at the end?
Silent.
Just silent. Okay. All right.
Motivational.
Some water.
You just be there.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
Give me
I
something
can do
to
that.
chase so I can make
that.
it to the end.
All right.
Perfect.
When's
Roger
the
don't
Cyril?
show up because I feel like he get after it too. I don't know. When is it?
Yeah, like your first one. Is it so the grandma's the second?
Yeah. So
Okay.
it's like the second Saturday of April.
Okay, so that's not coming up.
Just, not, but it is.
Yeah.
So.
Okay. Might need some. Yeah.
He's already tired.
We might need to talk
Tired.
after class. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been changing my eating a little bit too, and it's hard because I love sandwiches. So I gotta stop eating bread.
I mean, you need energy.
Yeah, well.
See, that's the thing though. When you're really into running, and then everything is justifiable. You're like,
and that's true because you
a beer, a sandwich, a pizza.
And I lift every day, Monday through Friday. I lift, but the thing is now, and I'm a power lifter, so I lift heavy. So now I gotta kind of back off some of my lifting just so I'm not carrying just so much muscle mass trying to run either, you know?
That's fair.
So, but man, I hate not going to the gym and just throwing weights. I feel weak.
That's funny. I could not be me. Like,
really?
No.
I love it.
I mean, I wish I had that, like, passion, and, like, some of my friends really do enjoy lifting, and I get in the gym, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm so bored, like, and what is it, a treadmill, and, like, I'm supposed to pick these up, I'm gonna hurt myself,
I just need the balance. That's my biggest thing, balance, and getting after it. All right, I love tangents. Okay, so
how do we get here? All right.
Yeah, we never know how we get anywhere. All right, so when Roger was began running for mayor, he reached out to you and
that's right. Yeah, we were on the 13-mile run. That's right. I lost both of you, but so we were running, and he was kind of kicking around the idea of running for mayor. And he was like, what do you think about it? And I was like, oh, that sounds cool. I know he was a former legislator, senator, representative, and city council, so he had experience. I'm like, Bob, I think that's a great idea.
Yeah.
And I was like, and at the time he didn't know that I minored in political science or that I had this background in like volunteering at, everything from the local to the, national level, door knocking for presidents and stuff like that, just as any volunteer would.
Yeah.
So
have you ran a campaign before?
No.
Okay.
No, just low level stuff, on different committees and door knocking and very light. But I was like, I have helped out on campaigns before. I'll, knock doors for you. He talked about social media, and I was like, that's comes fairly easy to me also. I like communicating, I like writing. So I was like, I'll volunteer. And at the time I was picturing something very small.
For sure.
But as, then he announced and kind of things progressed, I found myself leaning more and more in. At first it was just kind of social media stuff and going to events with him. And that I was like, oh, the newsletter, I like writing. So he did a weekly newsletter that we would write together. And then, before you know it, it just sort of happened.
For sure. And I feel like, I guess for Minnesota, we have the second largest political race here, other than Minneapolis, so I guess it is busier than we probably think, or it's more involved than what we understand from the outside.
Financially, is that what you're talking about?
Well, all of it. People involved, stuff. Because the rest of these small towns, we're the second, other than the Twin Cities, we are what's big next. So that campaign.
Well, and everyone knows Duluth, right? Like there are some other, St. Cloud for one. Like there are other communities that are fairly large also, but they're less of a, I don't know, not to be like super pro Duluth, but like a iconic, city is like the Twin Ports. The big lake certainly helps that. So it's something that people pay attention to from other parts of not only, Minneapolis, Minnesota, but Wisconsin. And it's just, but it was big. And it was an intense race. And
Well, I'm going to ask some questions because I'm going to ask some questions.
Sure.
You ain't got to answer anything, but I just ask questions. So obviously everybody knows, the thing came out, the person running for mayor is dating his campaign manager. How was that balance for you? Was there ever a time you just wanted to back out of it and say, I'm done?
Yeah, well, at the time we were not dating.
Yeah.
We were just friends.
Yeah.
We started dating last spring. So
after the race.
Yeah.
See, then that's what people don't know.
What's the problem?
It was why people are upset. People just like being mad about stuff.
Politics is a vicious game.
It's vicious.
And you do anything.
Yes.
Because we had obviously Roger on.
Yeah.
And you could tell he was just battle.
Oh yeah,
fatigued.
Oh yeah, He tested, soul tested, ready to go.
Sure. It's intense, and also just there's so many people that are really passionate about their one thing, which is awesome. there are so many, I guess I don't know how to call it other than special interests, but like small special interest things that like, if it wasn't for a handful of passionate individuals that cared about it, then like no one would care.
At all.
And that's awesome, again. But it's really hard to, when you're in charge or have any sort of leadership like that, to kind of combine all of those and decide what fits. And that's a challenge that I've seen him, firsthand experience. So.
Yeah. Well, this is why we ask questions, because it's good to know. A lot of people don't ask questions. You just make accusations about certain things. And then all of a sudden, it's a national story. And it's like, what are y'all talking about?
Yeah.
How do we get here? Like, this doesn't make sense. So, I'm going to fast forward because for me, there's nothing to even talk about left on that. Now that you've been involved in a campaign, it has that kind of spiked your interest in getting involved in other campaigns now, or more involved in politics, or not?
That's hard. I mean, I love my career, my actual career.
For sure. Because that was probably a lot of work trying to do both.
Yeah, I mean, I just didn't really sleep that much. I mean, it was like, working full time and then like every night and weekend doing something or preparing. So like it was a lot of work. So definitely a break. Haven't been doing anything like that since then. But I would say in the future for sure, it's easy to just sit back and do nothing. But if there are good qualified individuals that like need help, I mean, yeah, absolutely. And especially in this community, we have council races coming up soon, and just hearing about people that are interested or people that are running again. And I mean, some of these are great, amazing people that really, again, are super passionate about this community, and to help a few of them. I mean, I'm sure it's not the end for me. So.
Yeah, for sure. And Joe and I both have been involved in at least running. Joe ran a couple times. I just ran once for city council, and it was fun. I think I learned a lot personally, and just even the small town drama that comes with running for politics, or things people say that you ain't even know about yourself. I said, "Damn, I did that."
Yeah.
I don't remember.
You're telling me.
Yeah, we both learning something new. But Duluth is interesting too, because you got the old school part of it, and you got some of the younger generation living here now, and businesses starting to come in, and there's so many different facets of this city that makes politics here, I think, very interesting. Some of it I think is annoying. I think that's everywhere though, but I live in Duluth, so I'm just complaining about Duluth, But I think for the most part, I think we're starting to, it seemed like anyway, we're starting to get in a good direction, in a lot of different facets, whether it's business and economics and things like that. I enjoy kind of watching Duluth. I came here in 2016. Damn, 2016.
Wow,
that's crazy.
So almost a decade.
Did I come here in 16? I don't know when I came here. I've been here for 8 years. Yeah, everything is the same.
It feels like a long time.
I feel like a long time. I think it's only been 8 years though. Math is hard right now.
Well, that would be 2016.
Is it?
Well, give or take, depending on what part of the year you came in. So 8 to 9.
Really getting down to the granular level.
Yeah. What day was it? Was it a Tuesday?
We do a lot of math. I'm going to be honest, I think it was a Sunday.
Oh, okay.
I do think it was a Sunday.
Well, then it was definitely been 9 years then.
At least.
Yeah.
We learned a lot.
I was like, sometimes though, it is funny. Like, if you told me this, I like have a weird thing for like dates. If you're like, oh, what happened? I would be like, you know what? It was a Tuesday. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Rolling things back in my brain. I'm like, oh.
But I've loved watching Duluth progress itself. Just from when I first got here, because Pier B had just opened when I got here.
Okay.
So now it's just this booming thing, even more places getting down in Canal Park, or watching the shops come up in Lincoln Park.
I was gonna say,
I mean,
yeah.
Gosh, it's fun.
Yeah,
it's fun around here.
After college, I lived near Wade Stadium for a few years, and just kind of between Wade and Wheeler. Mm-hmm. And at the time, the original bent paddle was there, and then you had the Clyde, but like nothing really else that would kind of bring people down to that area. And one of the bent paddle festivities my sister and I went to, and there was a table for the like Lincoln Park business group or something with their green logo, and they're like, you know, this is going to be the up and coming place, and like we're got a ton of new energy and stuff going there. And I remember at the time I was like, oh wow, like this would be super cool if they did that. And now looking back, it's like I can't imagine that area without all the businesses.
Yeah, like what was it like
right now?
Yeah, and you hear people talk about, oh, Lincoln Park was a rough area. To be honest, all I know is Lincoln Park now. Yeah, and I freaking love it. So,
well, and then like you're saying, the evolving of Duluth, it's like, what's next?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Spirit Valley is my prediction. Yeah. I just think that there's already a lot of cool stuff going on there. You know, Boreal and Jade Fountain, and, you know, Mid Coast, and a lot of really cool stuff. And of course, you know, coffee shops and bookstores. And I mean,
we need to get Kmart back.
Yeah, you're the reason
as Kmart or like as Kmart?
No.
Just a Kmart.
He's old school.
The Kmart apologist.
He's one of the old school Duluthians that I'm talking about. Stopping our progression right now. What are some of your favorite places to go to around here? What do you like to
like for? Oh gosh, where?
All right, let's say
where do
this.
I start?
Let's say this.
Because you guys
A
have
burger.
Doing, I was like, you guys have been doing like a foodie
have.
tour for a while, so
have.
check it out if you haven't.
Mm-hmm.
I've been watching that. For burger, probably the Anchor. It's a basic choice.
Yeah, but it's classic.
It is classic, and again, I've lived here my entire life, and like the Anchor's been cool, or if you know, for a long time. Even when it was like shadier or like dirty, like I would go there with my dad. Like it's good. I also do like Gronks though.
Gronks.
Oh,
wait,
yes.
what you want? Cloquet Gronks or Gronks?
I don't know about the cloquet.
No,
the
I don't know
one
about
in
that.
South
There's
Eloise.
two. Yes.
In
Yeah,
Superior.
It's South Superior across from the Choo Choo.
Yeah.
Yes.
So there's a Gronks
Really good burgers.
and Cloquet.
Oh, I didn't know.
I didn't know that either. Are they like related? Or is it like the same?
They could be cousins.
Okay.
But
Are there burgers and?
same thing. Same.
Like bar grill.
Yeah, bar
and
grill
stuff.
spot.
Okay.
But it's good. They got this fish sandwich there, which people say is the best fish sandwich in the state.
Well, I will definitely have to check that out.
Yeah, I love it. How about breweries?
Breweries, probably currently Ursa is my favorite currently. They always have good sours on rotation, which is my favorite. I like the pizza. I like the expansion that they've done.
Yep.
But I also kind of have to throw it back to Bent Paddle because just what they've done and kind of their model that's now inspired so many others, like you gotta respect. And I love their Festiversary. It used to be Big Wave Dave, my favorite Duluth band. Shout out Big Wave Dave. That would always like headline it, and just the time of year when it's May, and you know, and you're out with your friends, like having a beer, and Big Wave Dave is playing, and the sun is setting behind the hill of Duluth, and it's like you get that like, wow, we made it, like we survived winter. Like I always feel like that. So yeah, Festiversary, one of my favorite events, but presently. I would have to say Ursa's
for sure.
One of my favorites.
That I say, if there's something I love about this area is, in the winter, it is you closed off to a lot of things. There's not much obviously you ain't going outside. Yeah, you gotta be crazy to be outside.
Unless you're hitting that training plan for your 5K.
Well, because now I ain't got a choice.
You ain't going outside. You're not running outside today. 30, what is it?
Not today, I'll die.
No, today I drew the line.
Not happening.
But Saturday morning, Roger and I went out and we ran 6 miles in Hartley, and it
was beautiful.
It was it was sunny and gorgeous, but I looked at the temps and I'm like, oh.
Do y'all? All right, let me ask you this: when you are going for a run, when you wake up, stretching because people stretch in the morning. Do you discuss how many miles you're going to run, or do you just go?
So. There's a plan.
Okay.
A predetermined plan. There's a plan ahead of time. So it's usually, first step one, you try to scrape together some friends that maybe go with you. And like, hey, anyone want to run? I'm thinking about doing this. And but it's usually long runs on Saturdays, which in the off season, which is right now, it's like 6 miles usually what we try to shoot for. But
I got to get my life together.
Dude, I feel like a piece of shit.
Because I'm going to tell you, it takes me 4.5 hours to stand upright.
Well,
you know what my Saturday mornings is? So this is motivational. I call my friend and say, hey guys, you want to go get brunch and mimosas? We're excited.
I mean,
and instead of 6 miles, hey, how many bottles of champagne can we take now? As a unit.
I feel like, to be really like, doing this right, it's you gotta do both, right? So
it's a balance.
You gotta get your early morning run in, and then you hit up the mimosa situation.
We're off balance.
We're off balance. We do everything to run.
Well, there's some room for improvement.
Oh, man. Okay. We need to talk more.
Yeah, I think so.
I got you. I'll never be running 6 miles with you, but maybe I will one time. Because I feel like for me to comfortably be able to run 3, I got to run 5.
A 6 mile for you and I is like a lifetime achievement.
Oh my God.
That's like, if we could do that once before
Well,
we die.
let me tell you. All right, so this is true. Rest in peace, Greg. The furthest I've ever ran was 8 miles, nonstop. But I was in high school, and this is why it happened. Okay, I got suspended from school for. It might have been a riot. We had a riot at breakfast.
Simple riot.
Just a breakfast riot.
It was crazy, but I mean,
Very
the SWAT team
common.
came and everything. It was bad.
Dang.
And
This was in Jersey?
Yeah, in Jersey.
Okay.
Principal got knocked out, Mr. Ahmad. I mean, he was asleep. I'll never forget it.
Oh my
Sleep.
gosh.
My cousin knocked him out too. I ain't gonna say his name. But because we were saw on camera doing things, our football coach, when we got back, he said, Lyman, you're running with the soccer team today. And so we had our own big practice field, huge. And they practiced down the hill on my soccer field. We was like, what are you talking about? He said, we saw what y'all did. I mean, had everything.
So it was on camera.
Everything. I said, oh my God.
Did you know about that before partaking in said riot?
Well, here's the thing. We didn't start it.
Okay.
We didn't start the riot.
All right.
But there was no escaping it. Like, I mean, there was thousands of people in my high school. Thousands.
That's crazy.
We had our breakfast in the East Cafeteria was where the riot started at. Two of my cousins sitting on the one of them was sitting on the table. The security guard told him to get down. He said no. I was like, bro, just get off the table. Ah, fuck him, whatever. His brother grabs the security guard's gun. Said, lock the door. Little did we know, this is exclusive.
Did you know this story?
I don't think so. Little did we know, these in high school we had to wear uniforms. My freshman year going in because too many games.
Okay.
And so you couldn't wear red or blue or certain colors because whatever. So they wanted everybody to be neutral. These guys that had already graduated dressed up in our school uniform. We didn't even notice, like 15 of them. They sit in a couple tables behind. We ain't paying attention. We got our table. We wilding because we was the guys in high school. Like we were those guys. They said lock the doors. These dudes stood up. We looked behind us. I said, "Oh man, now we gotta help my cousins beat them up." There, the doors was locked. We just start rocking. You hear people banging on the door trying to get in. People sneaking through the cafeteria because it's East Cafeteria, big kitchen, West Cafeteria. So you can look through and see West watching us bang it out. So now everybody running through the kitchen.
West were the good kids.
Some of them. But anyway, it was crazy. SWAT team came. They maced the entire school. Like, just throwing these little mace things out.
Wow, for everyone.
It's crazy for everybody.
I guess you can't really isolate.
But yeah, so there was nothing we could do. We told him, he's like, what did you want us to do? He's like, not fight. We have a choice. You know what I mean? So anyway, so we had to practice the linemen. Only the linemen.
Okay.
Had to practice with the soccer team that day. And that day was their run. And our Coach D knew that.
I was like, I'm sure he had no idea, right?
Oh, it was their run. 8 miles. And I remember going over there looking at Les and I said, bro, we can't do this. He said, we ain't got a choice. So we did. We went on this 8-mile run downtown, up the hills, everything. But it was brutal. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Never again. Trauma just took me back. Man, I remember that day like it was yesterday. It was
I was gonna say, I think you need to run 8 miles again to have a different experience.
Yeah,
like take it back in a more positive. Maybe right after your 5K, not like a few days after. When you're like, okay, I'm trained.
I got this.
I'm ready.
Because by then I'm gonna be ready. Because then I got to keep it up for my second one.
Yeah.
Me and Joe got a race in March.
It's a big deal. You probably heard about
it.
it.
Yeah, everybody heard about it. So I'll give you a refresher. So Joe thinks he's faster than me. I keep telling him, dude, stop. But that's my friend. No. So we decided during football season, we're going to race in March. As soon as, because he coaches skiing right now. So when skiing's done, he think that he had walked up the hill enough time
Wait,
for
so
his leg.
cross-country skiing?
No.
Or downhill?
Downhill. I coached the high schools and
Because if it was cross country, I'm like, I don't know, you might be in trouble.
Yeah.
No, I need
Okay.
I need a chairlift. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's
Okay.
done. I'm a smoker. We're only running 40 yards. I told him I'm gonna look back as we're running.
No.
I'm fast. People don't understand. Oh, it's gonna be
3 yards.
televised everywhere. It's gonna be televised. ESPN coming.
I believe it.
I'm gonna get you to start.
So
get us
like
out there
Vegas is
marketing.
probably going to be parlay.
Well, they already
also.
got
Okay.
Yeah.
100 to 1.
Who do they have?
100 to 1.
Who do you think? Come on now. Amber's trying to be nice.
There's a good chance that both our ankles are before we get 40.
I was going to say. So wait, is this before or after the first 5K?
Before. I'm ready. I'm telling you right now.
Okay, you better stretch out. You don't want to pull a hammy or something.
If it's the one thing I like, for a big guy, I'm nimble. I'm flexible. I mean, I can touch my toes.
That's pretty good.
Yeah,
That is pretty good. I can't touch my toes.
I'm pretty good at that. Anyway.
Wow. Well, I'm gonna have to come watch it.
Well, you might have to record it for us.
I'm in.
Live stream. This is a big deal. Like you, Roger, you gotta. Yeah, we're going to live stream it from the mayor's page.
Yes.
Oh, this is gonna be crazy. 100,000 viewers.
Yeah.
We should have beer there. We should see if Ursa want to come out, sell some beers.
That's a good idea. Maybe Gronks could have some
fish sandwiches, burgers.
Post
Joe and
burgers.
Pez race day.
Every year,
Duluth will
and we
announce
should
it,
do this every year until you end up in a wheelchair. Cause I'm gonna be fine. Your back is done though. So,
Can't wait.
anyway, look at us go. I love tangents. So, before we wrap it up, do you have? What are your aspirations in your current career? Where do you want to get to, or do you just enjoy kind of where you are and kind of want to just stay in the international realm?
I mean, I love international business.
Yeah.
It's like so special to be building relationships with people from all over the world, right? That's and whether it's oil or whether it's anything, like that's those connections, those human connections are something that I'm like very truly passionate about.
For sure.
It's also super cool as another tangent when, it's great to travel to them, of course, and see new countries, but when they come here to you, that's sometimes even better, right? They never come in the winter for some reason. You always invite them.
Wonder why.
But bringing people here from another country, sometimes it's their first time in the U.S.
For sure.
Ever. And, those people I feel a little bad for because, they grew up with this idea of the U.S. and they're thinking, right, New York or the Grand Canyon or L.A. And then they come to Duluth, Superior, and I'm like,
we don't got that.
We have cool stuff, but not like that. Not what you're picturing. But, I love taking them around, of course, visiting the factory and like doing the work stuff and the meetings and meeting people, but, making them touch Lake Superior or go to some of my favorite restaurants and, usually take them up to Enger Tower.
For sure.
And if they're sporty, some of them are runners also, we'll go for a run, hit the lake walk or hit some of the trails and, showing people from other countries and anywhere that has never heard of Duluth before, showing them Duluth Superior is so fun. It's so
awesome.
special.
Yeah, for sure. Here's a question we ask everybody as we wrap up. If you could say something to your younger self, what would it be?
You should have handed me these in advance so I could think about it. To my younger self, I guess first thing that comes to mind is just keep going.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's common for a lot of people, right? It's like your life teaches you how to live your life, and I'm a big believer in that.
Yeah.
Everything that I've gone through since I was a kid kind of prepares you for your next challenge, your next thing, and just keep going.
Yeah.
That's such a runner's answer.
Why she said it, I thought about running.
Yes.
You know what, Pez?
Good.
You better keep going. That's going to be playing on my head while I'm running. Amber's voice.
In the 40 or in the
both?
Okay.
Yeah. We're going to start with the 40.
Yeah.
Man, I haven't sprinted a 40 in a minute either. Man.
It's going to be good.
Yeah. Well, thank you for being on. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, no, thank you both.
Oh, it's good to get into just kind of hear about your past and having other people learn about you too, rather than just being this girl who dates the mayor. Shut up, everybody. Yeah. Shut up. We're done.
Like,
She's a runner.
I'm a different person.
Okay, that's what she does. She runs.
That's it.
Yeah, that's it.
That's really it.
Yeah, we'll stop there. And she likes burgers and beers. Sours, if you see them out, treat them to a goddamn beer.
Sours for sure.
Yeah. And like always, like and share and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.